Welcome back to ARC Maine. We want to turn to an issue we've been talking about, so-called street takeovers.
They've been popping up over the last year or so, especially in southern Maine, and it's a real safety concern for those involved and those who might stumble upon it.
Mal Meyer is back with us to talk about it again with us because, Mal, this happened in York County over the weekend.
That's exactly right, Katie. And, this is something that, again, we've been talking about. And for viewers, you might remember this is where large groups upwards of 100 people or so are meeting up at intersections late at night. They're setting off things like fireworks, they're doing burnouts, and they're taking video of it all to put on social media. These are some really dangerous stunts. And over the weekend, this happened at least 5 York County communities. You can see here they were actually all around the county, from Biddeford to East Waterboro to Lyman and more. And we know in North Berwick there was at least 1 arrest.
What did law enforcement tell you about these street takeovers this time?
So yeah, in the case of Kennebunkport, the group met at an intersection at Route 9. At one point, there was about 100 vehicles or so, and at one point, an officer did respond to the area. She went to this intersection. People had boxed her in, and then they wouldn't let her kind of interact with people, so they stopped her from approaching. They mocked her, made comments about the police. We do know that she called in for backup and help from other agencies. Of course, one of the trademarks of this is after a certain amount of time, people will quickly pack up and then move on to the next location. We're told that this has never happened in Kennebunkport before.
And one particularly dangerous takeover happened in Lyman.
That's exactly right. And I met up with the sheriff at that intersection off of, it's actually on Route 111 there in Lyman. And take a look at the security camera footage that was taken by Deputy Sean Sanborn. You can hear him describing what he was actually seeing in the distance. We heard him describing the fireworks going off. Again, an estimated 100 cars pulling up at this Route 111 intersection. And, the firework especially, that was a huge concern for law enforcement. Here's something that the sheriff told me that didn't make it into our story.
It's very difficult to plan for this, but it's very clear to law enforcement that this is an organized effort by a bunch of people that just want to take over streets and do their burnouts and do their trick racing and things like that, which is fine in a controlled environment, but not here. It terrorizes people, it terrorizes neighborhoods, it stops emergency vehicles from getting through to where people really need us.
Note that this is a very busy road. There's a lot of traffic that comes through even late at night. And in this case, there was actually a deputy who was trying to respond to another call in the area. That deputy wasn't able to get through. They weren't even trying to respond to the takeover. So that's a huge concern for law enforcement, that things like EMS might get held up because they're trying to get through.
Yeah, you have hundreds of people at some of these street takeovers and everything. You can't arrest everybody, obviously.
Sure.
What's the sheriff hoping to do? Maybe come up with a solution, maybe, because they can't arrest everybody.
That's exactly right. And again, another big point that you brought up is that they can't arrest everybody, and people try to evade the police, they try to get away. They're lucky if they do make one arrest at all. So in this case, the sheriff is looking to talk to the Slow Boys, which we've been talking about, the 207 Slow Boys, which law enforcement has identified as one of the main organizers of these events. He has a proposal that he has in mind.
I know that there's different people around town that offer their private land for fundraisers to do burnouts and trick racing and things like that. If I can get a hold of the organizers, perhaps I can get someplace where they can do their street racing and they can do their burnouts safely.
This was really surprising to me when I heard this part of your story. It's interesting. Sure. Do you think that anything will come from this?
So, yes and no. After we reached out to the Slow Boys for comment about this, and we talked to them and sent them a message over Instagram telling them what the sheriff would like to talk to them about. And again, the sheriff here is not looking to talk to them to make an arrest or anything. He even said that. He wants to have a conversation about this. The Slow Boys did respond to that. They said that they would reach out to the sheriff. I don't know if that has happened yet about this. Again, we know that they have been promoting an event coming up, a takeover. They said that they did not organize anything. And also, when I reached out to the Slow Boys, they did say that it's never been about getting about being in the streets. It's always been about creating a community in which people can be brought together to enjoy something we all love and have passion for.
Well,
so we'll
so
see them if they take up the sheriff on
So
this
that'll
offer.
be interesting because if they really do get together and make this happen, then it's a win-win for really everybody. But it just seems like they're doing this for attention. They're putting it on social media. They want to show off. But we'll see. Hopefully, that's the case. They're looking for a community. And that would be awesome if we could work that out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, we know we'll have updates. If you hear anything, you'll let us know, Mal.
For sure.
All right. Thanks so much.